The Maxton Hall Season 3 trailer just dropped, and if you think you are ready for what is coming next, trust me, you are not. Everything we thought we knew is about to be turned upside down. Secrets are finally coming to light, and the power games behind Maxton Hall are more dangerous than ever. This trailer did not just tease a new season, it exposed the beginning of a war that will change every single character's future forever. The trailer makes one thing very clear from the very first moments. Ruby being expelled was never the end of her story. It was the spark that ignited everything. The pain, the injustice, and the silence surrounding her expulsion feel heavier than ever, and the season seems determined to show us how deeply this decision has damaged not only Ruby, but everyone connected to her. Ruby is no longer just the girl who tried to survive Maxton Hall. She is now someone who has been pushed too far. The trailer shows her more determined, more focused, and far less willing to stay quiet. This is not about returning to school anymore. This is about reclaiming her dignity. What makes this situation even more intense is the fact that the photo used against Ruby is real. This detail changes everything. There is no easy way out, no simple lie that can fix this. The trailer strongly hints that the truth will finally come out, but the cost of that truth will be enormous. James is shown struggling internally, torn between loyalty to his father and the guilt he carries. His expressions alone suggest that he knows he is the key to saving Ruby, but also that speaking up could destroy his entire family. This season seems ready to explore James not just as Ruby's love interest, but as someone who must finally choose who he wants to be. Mortimer, on the other hand, appears more dangerous than ever. The trailer frames him as a man who is losing control, and that loss of control makes him unpredictable. His obsession with reputation, power, and dominance over his children is no longer hidden behind polite smiles. Every scene involving him feels colder, darker, and more aggressive. It becomes clear that Mortimer is willing to sacrifice anyone, including his own son, to protect his image. This is why Ruby's situation becomes a direct threat to him. Letting her back into Maxton Hall would mean admitting weakness, and Mortimer does not forgive weakness. The trailer also subtly suggests that James may be preparing to take responsibility for the photo. Small visual cues and intense confrontations imply that he is reaching a breaking point. If James tells the truth, Ruby's expulsion could be reversed, but the consequences would be brutal. Mortimer's reaction would not be quiet or private, it would be explosive. This sets the stage for what looks like the central conflict of Season 3, children finally standing up to a father who has controlled everything for far too long. What makes this storyline so powerful is that it's not just about school rules or scandal, it's about power, fear, and what happens when young people refuse to be destroyed by decisions made behind closed doors. The trailer makes us feel that Ruby's fight is not only hers anymore, it is becoming a symbol of everything that is wrong with Maxton Hall, and Season 3 seems ready to expose all of it. As the story moves forward, the trailer shifts its focus from Ruby's personal battle to something much bigger and far more dangerous: Mortimer's empire itself. What once looked untouchable now feels unstable, and Season 3 seems ready to show us that power built on fear can never last forever. Mortimer is no longer just controlling situations quietly from the shadows. The trailer hints that his secrets are starting to surface, and once they do, there will be no way to stop the collapse. One of the most unsettling parts of the trailer is the growing tension inside the family. James is no longer silent, and Lydia appears more aware than ever of how deeply trapped she has been. Their bond as twins feels stronger, almost as if they have finally realized that the only way to survive is together. The trailer strongly suggests that Mortimer will soon discover Lydia's pregnancy, and this revelation is framed as a turning point. His reaction is not shown directly, but the fear in Lydia's eyes tells us everything we need to know. This is not a man who reacts with understanding or love. This is a man who sees his children as liabilities when they threaten his control. The possibility of Lydia being thrown out of the house hangs heavily over the season. The trailer uses silence, distance, and cold stares to suggest exile, not safety. If Lydia is forced to leave, it will mark the moment when Mortimer loses his emotional grip over his children completely. James stepping in to defend her feels inevitable, and the tension between father and son seems ready to explode. The trailer hints at an ultimatum, a choice that will leave no room for compromise. Either James submits or he walks away from everything he has ever known. Once that line is crossed, there is no return. The trailer strongly implies that the twins leaving the house is not a moment of defeat, but the beginning of a full-scale war. This is where the story takes a dramatic shift. The fight is no longer personal, it becomes strategic. Mortimer's greatest weakness is not his temper or his cruelty, it is the Beaufort Company. The trailer subtly plants the idea that his control over the company may not be as legitimate as he wants everyone to believe. Small but powerful hints point toward Cordelia's will. The official version no longer feels trustworthy, and Season 3 appears ready to challenge everything Mortimer claims to own. The presence of Aunt Oilia becomes more significant, suggesting that she knows more than she has ever admitted. The trailer creates a sense that a hidden truth has been buried for years, and uncovering it could change the balance of power forever. This section of the story feels darker, smarter, and far more dangerous. Season 3 is no longer about surviving Mortimer, it is about exposing him. The trailer makes it clear that once the twins decide to fight back, they will aim directly at the thing he values most. And when someone like Mortimer starts losing control over power, money, and legacy, the damage he causes in desperation could be catastrophic. The trailer then takes a chilling turn, focusing on one of the most mysterious and disturbing threads of the story, Percy and Cordelia's past. What once felt like a strange, unexplained moment in Season 2 now looks like the center of everything. Percy standing at Cordelia's grave was never just about grief. The trailer strongly suggests that he was guarding a secret powerful enough to destroy Mortimer completely. The key he kissed is no longer symbolic, it feels like a literal key to the truth that has been hidden for years. Season 3 seems ready to dig into the idea that Cordelia's real will never disappeared, it was deliberately hidden. The trailer builds tension around the possibility that this key unlocks a box, a safe, or a place where the original documents were kept, documents that could prove Mortimer built his empire on lies. If the real will is found, everything changes instantly. Mortimer would lose his control over Beaufort, and the power would return to those it was stolen from. This would not just be a legal defeat, it would be public humiliation. What makes this storyline even more unsettling is the growing suspicion around Percy himself. The trailer gives him an entirely different energy this season, calmer, heavier, almost haunted. It feels like a man who has lived with guilt for a very long time. His connection to Cordelia is no longer questionable, it feels deeply personal. Season 3 seems ready to ask a shocking question that could rewrite the entire family history. What if Percy was not just close to Cordelia, but loved her? And then comes the theory that changes everything. The trailer drops subtle but deliberate hints that James and Lydia may not be Mortimer's biological children. The idea feels impossible at first, but the more you think about it, the more it makes sense. Their kindness, their empathy, their ability to stand up for others all feel completely opposite to Mortimer's cruelty. Percy, on the other hand, fits perfectly into that missing emotional space. If Percy is revealed as their real father, Mortimer's power collapses on every level, legally, emotionally, and morally. This revelation would explain why Percy stayed close, why he watched from a distance, and why he protected Cordelia's secrets even after her death. It would also explain Mortimer's rage and obsession with control. A man who knows his authority is built on a lie will do anything to keep that lie alive. The trailer makes it clear that Season 3 is not afraid to go this far. It wants to shock, to hurt, and to completely redefine what family means. If this truth comes out, Mortimer would not just lose Beaufort, he could face prison for forgery and possibly for Cordelia's death. This is no longer just a theory. The trailer treats it like an approaching storm, and once that storm hits, there will be no way to protect the lies that have shaped Maxton Hall for so